Hey guys, Axel Fireflurry here, again working on the iPad, trying really hard to focus on that sweet little dot. I have systems for my work updating right now, so I got like 20 minutes to kill, so I figured I would make another super quick Verlisify video. Again, before we really continue, keep your hands and feet in the right at all time. Don't go harass him or his fan base. Just leave leave the poor baby man alone. leave the man alone. Not a bully video. We just have strong opinions of him. We're just gonna keep him to ourselves. We're just gonna just hands and feet in the right, people. But I came to the realization last night that there's a lot that I want to talk about his current in regards to his current misdeeds. With his platform, and I figured I'd just break it up into 3 videos, including the one from yesterday. So you're gonna get like one more video either later today or maybe even tomorrow, but soon, because I kind of just want to get out of the way and strike while the iron is hot. Today we're gonna talk about his weird opinions on Nuzlocks and just like extra challenges and fan made games. Let's start with his opinions of them. He thinks they're dumb. He thinks they're bad. Like I'm not just putting words in his mouth because I'm working from my iPad and I don't upload enough for me to feel like I can justify buying, spending like $50-$60 on video editing software for my iPad, especially since this is mostly for watching videos while I'm at work for background noise and even more for my digital art. I'd rather the storage go towards that than something I'm just not going to use as often now. If I start taking more time and care into my YouTube videos, then I will get something for like my laptop. But because, again, this isn't something we're not here to talk about. We're here to talk about Verlisify. We're here to talk about him. Anyway, but in his video, Verlisify is always right. There was a comment asking about like Nuzlocks and stuff like that, and questions about like fan made games. And he's like, no, they're bad. They're stupid, and the people who make them have fake reactions, and so they're fake and just they're not genuine, they're bad, and that's weird. That's a weird take. For those of you who don't know what a Nuzlocke is, essentially it is a self-imposed rule that I typically do for myself. I typically buy both copies of Pokemon games. Again, for those of you who don't really play Pokemon games, they typically come out with, 2 copies with very small variants, typically just 3 or 4 Pokemon that are in the game. So let's say Pokemon Red for the Game Boy, you had, I think, Vulpix. No, it was Arcanine, and then if you go to Blue, you'd get Vulpix, and it was stuff like that. So just very, very minor differences. And for those of you who have played for as long as I have, or even played some of the newer games, you may agree that the games are kind of too easy, especially like in comparison to, again, Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, and Crystal for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. You would go through like these long areas where you just do not have the opportunity to heal. So you spend like 40 minutes in just this rough terrain battling trainers like every 3 minutes, using up all your potions, and you're just quietly hoping that eventually you're gonna get to a Pokemon Center so you can heal, because your team is dead. You're down to like your last Pokemon. They have like 5 health. You just want help. But in newer games, one of the things you can do one of the things that happens. This happened a lot in Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, but you would get potions and free heals from like random characters all the time. So you never. I almost felt like you didn't even have to buy potions because it was just so frequently your quote unquote rival or some random character would come up and be like, hey, you look kind of beaten up here. Psst, potion, you're healed now. And so it makes the game a little too easy. And another thing that makes the games too easy is just how many times you've like played the game. Like, but just anyway, the games have just gotten significantly easier as the years have gone by, and so the rules of a Nuzlocke are, again, it's a self challenge. This isn't how you have to play the game. You do not have to. This is completely optional, and you can tweak it. But the rules are simple. You choose your starter, and you can only catch the first encounter on each route. If the Pokemon faints, runs away, whatever happens, you can't catch it. You do not get a Pokemon on that route. So let's say I'm playing Pokemon Red. I choose my starter, Bulbasaur, and Route 1, I'm trying to catch a Pidgey for whatever reason. I accidentally killed the Pidgey. On Route 1, I can no longer catch any Pokemon. I now have to go to Routes 2, 3, so on and so forth. And the rules continue. Another rule that you have is if a Pokemon faints, it is gone forever. You can no longer use it. So let's say I'm playing my Nuzlocke, again, Route 1, I pick Bulbasaur. For whatever reason, Pidgey knocks out my Bulbasaur. I lose the challenge. I have no Pokemon I can use. The Pokemon is dead. and or let and there are even more tweaks that you can make to the Nuzlocke. I'm currently doing a Avatar of the Last Airbender lock where you pick one of the four nations. No, you can't be the Avatar. And I did this shortly after I beat Brilliant Diamond. I'm doing this on Shimmering Pearl because my Brilliant Diamond version is for my competitive play for like online, and I like Nuzlockes. I think they're fun. They're kind of stressful, but they're fun. But within like a weekend, I went through like the first two nations. Like, I started with the Air Nation because I'm like, okay, I don't know what I want to pick. I'm gonna have Facebook pick what nation I'm from, and a whole bunch of people are like, oh yeah, I see it was an airbender, and so I'm like, okay, I can catch normal flying types, I can catch psychics, and there was like, I think I can catch bugs. I'd have to pull up. You can Google this. You can Google Avatar of the Last Airbender Nuzlocke challenge. You can do that. Like, I recommend it. It's actually kind of fun. But you can only catch like 4 types of Pokemon. And so if you don't run into that Pokemon again on like Route 1, then you don't get an encounter at all. So it just makes it a little bit harder. And I really appreciate that. But in a weekend, I ended up going through like the first 2 nations because I just lost all my Pokemon. I remember I was fighting the third gym leader, and I was down to my Roserade, who I was not Roserade, Badoo, because I was trying to get into level up so I can become a Roserade, because it was just a Badoo for like the longest time. And so I'm sitting here, I'm like, I put hours of love and care into this, and went from like level 6 to like level 30, and the gym leader's a Lucario, knocked it out, and I remember just like I just remember going, no! I was so upset that I lost this Badoo. I don't even think that was like the last Pokemon to faint, but it was the most impactful, because you can't afford to lose anything, and so it's a lot of fun because it creates this new challenge. It makes you think more. You have to strategize more. It's no longer just a mash A, press B when you're in the Pokemon Center so you don't heal yourself 3 or 4 times. But according to Verlisify, it takes no skill to play these games. You're lazy and you're a bad player if you do a Nuzlocke, and I think that's just so weird. Like, why would somebody making things harder for themselves for the sake of enjoyment be a bad thing? And one of his biggest complaints about anyone doing anything that isn't how he does it is for the sake of money or for the sake of views. And my response to that is, well, first of all, like what do you do with a game after you beat it? What if there's like no post game? If you're specifically a PokeTuber, like what do you have going for you for the next 2.5 years until the next Pokemon games come out? You have nothing to upload. You have no source of income if that is what your job is. And so like you kind of have to wait for like Nintendo Directs or news articles from credible sources, or from like the official Nintendo Pokemon Company blah 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 articles from them, in order to start making videos again. And that takes a couple of years. So what do? You find something Pokemon related to fill that gap until the next thing comes out. And if that is doing Nuzlockes, then do it. Like it does not affect him at all. It really does not. It had what other people upload, unless people are making slanderous accusations against him, what other YouTubers do have no impact on him and his life. The only reason that they kind of do is because he finds anything that is even slightly different from how he does things as a personal attack, and that the entire world is out to get him. And that he is the only true, real Pokemon fan. Nobody else is a Pokemon fan. If you go by his logic and his line of reasoning, he is the only Pokemon fan. Not the hundreds and thousands of kids who play it, not the hundreds of thousands of adults who play it, but this one dude in the Northwest United States. He's the only Pokemon fan in the entire world. But going back to Nuzlockes, there's another way you can do it. If you download a ROM or an emulator, I'm not going to get into the legalities of ROMs and emulator video games. I'm not going to get into it. That's not what this video is about. But you can randomize the game. So using, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow again as my example, because that's sort of the iconic game for everybody. Your original starters would be Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle. With the randomizer, you can get stuff like Pikachu, Jigglypuff, and let's say a Mewtwo. And in routes where you'd encounter Pidgeys, maybe you'd get like a Gyarados or a Graveler. And if you do a randomizer in Nuzlocke, that just makes the challenge even crazier, because if it's a game you've played before, you don't have the comfort of knowing that, oh, Brock is going to use a level 12 Geodude and a level 14 Onix. He could bring in a level 12 Raichu and a level 14 Venusaur, or level 12 Charizard and a level 14 Psyduck. So, and you can tweak it even more. You can change their typings, what moves they can use, their abilities. Like, you can kind of make this challenge as difficult as you want to make it. And I find that phenomenal, because, again, the games are kind of easy. It's a mache. That is it. You kind of need a little bit of strategy the first couple times you play it, but, your 7th or 8th time, it's kind of like, okay, Charmander's my starter. Get it to 16 so it can become Charmeleon. I beat Brock. Okay, I got a flying type for Misty. Got a Dugtrio for Lieutenant Surge. It's easy. And these are like cardinal sins to Verlisify. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he demanded like anyone who did Nuzlockes or randomized Nuzlockes like be in prison, and he'd come up with some like crock and bull reason as to why they should be in prison for the rest of their lives. But Another thing that he has like this weird problem with is Pokemon fan made games. Um, I have issues with them as well, but not the same kind of reasons that he has. He has a problem with them because it's stolen IP, and I can kind of see I can see the reason behind that. Like it is stolen IP. Like they're copyrighted characters and stuff like that. Creatures, I guess, would be more accurate. But to my knowledge, I've never known a Pokemon fan made game maker trying to make a profit off of it. It's more of a, again, a fan made game. It is somebody who loves Pokemon, loves the Pokemon games, and wants to be just a small part of the massive Pokemon world. And he finds these games to be atrocious and evil and wicked, and anyone who plays them are evil and wicked, and anyone who makes them are evil and wicked, and all of them burn at the stake. I'm not saying, I'm not accusing him of actually saying that people deserve to burn at the stake, but if you go look into his past by older videos by other YouTube creators, he's kind of said some pretty extreme things over the smallest of things in the Pokemon community. But again, not an accusation. But he has very strong, very negative opinions about fan made games. Now, I said that I kind of have ill feelings towards Pokemon fan made games as well, and so before you start thinking I'm a hypocrite, leaving in the comments section, my problem with Pokemon fan made games is not so much that they exist, but it's sort of the writing of the game. It's more of the creative aspect where I kind of have the issue, because they typically, what every character is like an edge lord with this dark and brooding past that nobody would understand, and there's usually like some satanic cult who wants to sacrifice some random character to an all-powerful deity, I think typically Darkrai. And so when everyone's dark and broody, the characters kind of just feel like two-dimensional, and so it's more boring, and some of the mechanics get like super broken. Like I can't think of like a clear example, but I remember there was like one Pokemon game where you can like mesh moves together to create like super moves. So you can like mix like Scald, which is a special water type move that can leave burns, with like Mach Punch, which is fighting, and I think you can get like a punching move that does like physical and special and can leave a burn, and I'm just like, that is broken. That is, it's kind of broken. But, and then it's like how much grinding you have to do, because a lot of the gym leaders, like, I'm glad that they gave the gym leaders 6 Pokemon, but when they're like 40 levels above you, and there's like a terrain issue where like the floor is lava, so like everything gets burnt except for your opponents for some weird reason, then that's where I find it to be a bad game and not a fan of it. Again, it's more of the creative side, not for the fact that it exists. But again, Verlisify thinks that these are things that just need to be done with, because if it's not officially from Pokemon, and even if it is from official Pokemon, unless it meets his criteria, it does not deserve to exist. Like, I'm pretty sure if he had like the Infinity Gauntlet, he would just, I'm gonna snap again. There we go. Just wipe out all he deem unworthy, so it would just be like him and his dog. Which is sad that he lacks the social skills to have healthy relationships with other people, at least from what I've experienced from his interactions on social media. But again, speculation, accusations, thoughts and opinions. But again, I just think it's really weird that he has such strong opinions over, again, things that have no effect on him, except when he like makes it his problem. Like, I I don't care. Like for example, I do not care for basketball. Okay, I just don't. And if somebody goes off and plays basketball, I'm not gonna sit here and complain about basketball players because I have other things to do. I'm still waiting for my stuff to download. I'm at like 95%, which is great because it means I can actually get back to work and like, make money. But he would be the guy who like hates basketball, and if somebody's like, "Yeah, basketball's so cool," he's like, "No, fuck you. You're not allowed to like football. I mean, basketball. No, basketball's stupid because you only have 5 players, and if you have a taller player, then clearly you're at an advantage. And if somebody went to like a basketball college, then they're going to be better than somebody who's been playing street basketball for these reasons. Basketball just needs to be done away with." But I may use that analogy in the next video because the next video I'm going to talk about his weird obsession with hacking Pokemon and hacked Pokemon, glitched Pokemon, and especially using those types of Pokemon in unofficial tournaments. So that's all I really have for now. I'm going to get back to work. Hope to see you all in the next video. Bye.